Thirds are the most fundamental building blocks of harmony. By stacking thirds in different configurations, we create chords. By moving between these chord structures successively, we create tonalities and harmonic motion, often through root movement by fifth, or, you guessed it, third. The centrality of thirds to music predates chordal theory itself. In pretonal music, the interval of a third against the bass became an increasingly important consonance, gradually shaping the sonorities that would evolve into tonal harmony. Today I'm going to show you how to think in thirds systematically and how doing so can speed up your understanding of harmony across multiple facets of music making. Here is a one-bar phrase in C. Taking our first note as an example, also C, thinking in thirds can tell us what chordal options we have for harmonisation. In C major, C is the root of our 1 chord, the third of our 6 chord, and the fifth of our 4 chord. In our thinking in thirds journey, learning which diatonic triads each scale degree belongs to as the root, third and fifth is the best starting point, and will teach us how the chords of the key are linked in thirds. We can extend this to 7th chords and extended chords once we're a bit more fluent with the basic principle. The basic principle is to have a movable understanding of where any given note can be found in any chord. As we move up in thirds chordally, the smaller the number attributed to our target note as the musical distance is narrowing between the root of the chord and the target note itself. When we move down in thirds, the distance becomes greater, so the attributed number becomes greater. In this basic harmonisation where we're sticking to triads, thinking in thirds immediately gives us these options for harmonisation for each note. Then it's just a question of experimentation. The beauty of this system is that it's uniform. The order of the numbers, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and so on never changes, and it applies to all scales and tonalities. Here is a chord progression in E minor, using harmony from the melodic minor scale. Without going into the specifics as to why I'm picking these particular notes for my reharmonisation, as that's a subject for another lesson, I want a progression that features the 3rd and 7th of the 1 chord, the 3rd and 7th of the 4 chord, the 3rd and 7th of the 5 chord, and finally the root and 3rd of the 1 chord. Because I'm now fluent in thinking in thirds, I can easily put together something like this. Of course, thinking this way about music doesn't only have to apply to harmony. We can think in thirds melodically as well. Here is a basic 2-5-1 in C. If we aren't thinking in thirds, we might decide to play something directly linked to the arpeggios of each chord. If we wanted to write something more interesting, perhaps using upper extensions to colour our harmony, thinking in thirds is a great way to do this. If I want a 9th to colour my 2 chord, I can simply go up a third and play a major 7th arpeggio, as I know that the 7th of the 4 chord is the 9th of the 2 chord. I can apply this logic to each chord in the progression, giving us something a bit more jazzy.